Tansei, welcome back to Métis Minute, the source for all your Métis news in Region 7. Today, our story is well over a minute because I wanted to dive into this important initiative that's happening here in M&O Region 7. Today, I sat down with Kooshkopayiw Métis Art Council President, George Simard. I wanted to bring you this story because this spring, Kooshkopayiw is bringing us a Métis art crawl that Métis, Inuit, First Nations, and non-Indigenous people can come out to support. This story is important because Louis Riel himself once said, "My people will sleep for 100 years, but it will be the artists who awaken their spirit." I paraphrased there because Kooshkopayiw means awaken in Michif. This initiative is helping Métis people awaken their spirits over 100 years after Louis Riel gave us that quote. It is imperative that we support our Métis artists because not only does it awaken our spirits to celebrate our culture and communicate who we are as a people, but a lot of Métis artists rely on art sales for their income. The Métis Art Council is helping to bridge that gap between Métis artists and the general public. They also have initiatives where they have professional and grassroots artists come together to learn and share knowledge of their skills, how to generate income from their art, and come together as a community, which George states is fairly important for the Métis art community. George Simard is an artist himself. In our interview, he answered the questions of what is Métis art, why it's important to our culture, and how we can help support these Métis artists in our community. What is the Kooshkopayiw Métis Arts Council? Why did it start? And what's your role on it?
Okay. Well, first of all, it means the awakening, and so we're quite excited with what that means. It's the awakening of the Arts Council within the Métis community, and so I'm the president of the Arts Council. I'm a co-founder with Doris Lanigan, who is our senator elder, and Jason Berg, who's a renowned Canadian Métis fashion designer, visual artist. And we collaborated last spring to start this. We've been talking about it for a couple of years, and there has been a lack of an arts council within the Métis Nation of Ontario, and so we're there to share our wisdom, our talent, our mentorships to our up-and-coming grassroots Métis artists, and as well as the professional artists that are in our community. So our immediate goal is to seek out and register M&O registered Métis artists and create a council that serves those needs. So my thought pattern is you need to go to the community won't go to you.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we've created the art crawls. The art crawls are an art exhibit in galleries across Ontario that are in each region of the Métis Nation of Ontario. And so we're soliciting artists of all ages, all disciplines, performing artists as well, to join our exhibit, meet their fellow community members that are artists. So we're encouraging awareness that we're here. And with that, the greater community outside the Métis Nation of Ontario, the public, they're inquisitive to who we are and what we're all about. And so this is part of our mission as well, to bring the Métis culture to the general public for a better understanding and to meet us. And because we are their neighbors, we live amongst you, and we need to embrace everyone and spread kindness and the promotion of who we are.
How would you personally define Métis art if you could?
Well, that's very difficult.
Yeah.
Traditional Métis art would be the thing that comes to my mind would be the beading, okay? And the floral beading is unique to the Métis people amongst Indigenous people. And so with that, evolution has happened. I'm a clay figurative sculpture. Jason Berg is a fashion designer. So we've evolved as time goes on. We are Métis citizens that are engaging in art of our own like and discipline. And so it's all Métis art to me, as long as it's created by Métis artists.
Yeah, I think, yeah, a lot of people have a like distinct view of like, oh, it's fiddle music, it's this. But yeah, I agree with you. I think if it's a Métis person creating it, that's Métis art.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that Métis people have like a distinct art style? I know you talked about like the flower beadwork, but as that sort of evolves, do you think there's something special that Métis people bring to like an art practice?
Well, I think it's evident everywhere. There's lots of woodland style acrylic visual artists that are Métis people that once again are an evolution of where their Indigenous ancestry came from, and it's influenced also by their French roots or their Scottish roots. That were the two predominant groups that mixed with the Indigenous people to create a Métis citizen.
Yeah, and you're an artist yourself, you mentioned. So how has your Métis heritage impact the style of art that you create?
Well, most of my life I've been an artist of several types. I started with painting, acrylics and watercolors. I did clay sculpture starting in high school, and when I was 12, I made tomahawks, and they were Christmas gifts to my aunts and uncles. And as time went on, I did soapstone carving for a while with First Nations people on the Six Nations Reserve, which is close to me. And since then, I'm currently working with clay, doing figurative sculptures, male and female. And so I've been influenced by, lately I've been working on historic figures, portraits. Tony Belcourt is the one I exhibited in the AGA art exhibit last August. And Tony Belcourt's a huge historical figure within our community. He's our spiritual leader. He's the founder of the Métis Nation of Ontario. So I find him very important, and that's one of the reasons I chose him as a subject matter. My mission is to make clay busts of most of the prominent founders in the Métis Nation of Ontario. So it's a historic journey for me to capture their image in 3D.
I think that's great, because I think a lot of people, when they think of Métis people, we go all the way back to like the Louis Riel days, and we don't realize, like, especially for the Métis Nation of Ontario, like our modern leaders. And yeah, Tony Belcourt, definitely, like when you think of Métis Nation of Ontario and a leader, like obviously the founding the founding president of the Métis Nation of Ontario, and not even just for us Métis people, but a lot of like he's a champion just of Indigenous people in general. So I think it's great that you're doing that to help remind the Métis citizens in Ontario that like these are our modern day leaders, and he's still alive too. So it's you could go talk to him if you feel like it too.
Yes, he also has a position on our Arts Council. He's the ambassador slash advisor. And so we've been in consultation with him about historically correct information or language. He's just a wealth of knowledge. He's just a walking book of knowledge.
Yeah.
And he's such a kind gentleman, and I just need to capture his image, and I got his image, and I'm happy. And working on Gary Lipinski currently, and I'm working on a Métis jigger dancers, the three sisters from Ontario. I'm working on them. That's my planned exhibit for the AGA coming up in Midland.
Yeah, maybe let's talk about the last AGA because that's when you had the inaugural art exhibition with the Métis Arts Council. What was the response to the art that was exhibited and just in general having this exhibition there?
Oh, it was a wonderful experience. All the comments were very positive. It just enriched the whole weekend with the emphasis on art culture, as well as the business aspects of the AGA. It was a 30th anniversary of the Métis Nation Ontario, so it was an exciting time from that perspective as well. We just had lots of people enjoying the exhibit. It was just a wonderful, magical evening, and the artists there were very pleased themselves with their participation and the platform once again that the artists in our nation need.
Yeah, and then yeah, speaking of providing another platform, we're going to be having in Region 7 that art crawl that you talked about. Maybe if you want to talk a bit about where that is and what's going to be going on there.
Well, the art crawl is at the Muskoka Discovery Centre in Gravenhurst. It's April 27th. It's a full day event. It's open to all citizens of Region 7, of all ages, of all disciplines of art, to show up, to exhibit their work. They get to see the platform of an exhibit, the importance of artwork being displayed not only to our community but to the public, and it just boosts self-confidence in their work, and it provides them a window of opportunity to continue their work as artists and to grow and possibly exhibit themselves in galleries across the province, as well as the grassroots artists attending. Most of Kooshkopayiw Arts Council is going to be exhibiting there as well, the professional artists that we have. And so we're going to have a roundtable discussion amongst the grassroots artists, just a meet and greet, so we get to know each other. And it's all about community building and community service. To me, community service is number one on my list. Because it just brings people together. It creates a warmth and kindness, and it just makes people want to participate in that community and be in their happy place.
Yeah, I think there's nothing better than I know since I've started doing, I talked to you recently, I just became a counselor with the Barrie Council, and yeah, being in community, like there's nothing better than feeling like you're helping people and you're all working together. So yeah, I can't wait to go to the event and see all the artists that I don't even know about, right? So
that's a big part of our community is we don't have a platform to show our artists, and we don't know who our artists are. It was difficult for me to at first to find Métis artists in Ontario that were professionals, and the journey still continues. But this platform will bring it to the communities. It will enhance their community. It will encourage participation amongst the art community, and I think that's community building. And I think the art community in the Métis Nation of Ontario is a very important part.
And I think too, just the importance of art to Métis culture. Louis Riel has that quote that everybody says, where it's like, "My people will sleep for 100 years, and it'll be the artists that like awaken their spirit." So I think, yeah, it's very important, Métis art to the culture and to helping us like reconnect to the culture as well.
Yes, he was a visionary for sure, and we're trying to uphold his legacy and make that happen. And I'm just so proud of being part of this community.
Yeah, and yeah, you talked about bringing the grassroots with the professional artists together. Do you think there's any barriers for artists based out of Region 7 that this art crawl and things like this will help solve?
Well, I think living in Canada, one of the biggest barriers we have of any activity is distance. Okay, being able to get there, and it's more challenging today with high cost of living, fuel, and the other barrier would be no platform for Métis artists, and that's where we come in. We're providing a platform to break down these barriers, to show people there is a place to congregate and enjoy our art culture, and it's just fellowship and and it's just good energy.
Yeah, and speaking of, obviously, I think Métis people will come out to this event and support other fellow Métis artists. But how can non-Indigenous people support Métis artists? There's all this talk of, cultural appropriation and appreciation. But yeah, how can non-Indigenous people come out and support? Obviously, they're welcome to the art crawl, but yeah, how can they, in general, just help support Indigenous artists?
Well, I think what they need to do is come out to our events, and there's not many Métis events around the province. And so once again, we're providing a platform for the general public to come, to visit, to interact with us, speak with us, visualize our talents, our artwork. It's just a general understanding of people. Once you break down, once you come to a point where you can read each other and speak to each other, I think all the barriers in life melt away, and we're left with two human beings that are communicating. And so the Indigenous and the Métis Nation need to do more of that work, because there is a lack of awareness with Métis people across this country, and we're just trying to break that barrier.
Yeah, and hopefully everybody comes out. But for you specifically, since you're an artist yourself, how can people find your work if they're interested in going to see that?
Um, we're a new and running council, so we don't have a website yet. We're working on getting a managed website, and with that, we will showcase our arts council, who's on the council, what are we doing, the events we're having. We're going to show our artwork, and we're also working with the Métis Nation Ontario to create an art wall. It's basically a registry of artists right across the country of all genres, whether you're a performing artist or a visual artist. And once again, it's just collecting the community, bringing them together, giving a platform to know each other, interact with each other. Some people are looking for artists to do commission work for them. Like, it just be a platform to choose the artist that suits your needs, and it just gives the people more options, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah, I think that'll help break down that barrier you said of travel, where it's, yeah, online, you can go and look at an artist and contact them from there. I think, yeah, a lot of people rely on that if they're in like a remote location, so that's great.
I just want to thank the community councils across the province that are supporting this effort, and the Métis Nation Ontario. It's very important to me. It's very important to the artists on the council. And I think as we evolve, it'll be very important to the general Métis community. And once again, with that, I hope we have exposure to the general public, just create more awareness of who we are.
I want to extend a huge thank you to Kooshkopayiw President George Simard for sitting down with us today. If you're interested in sharing your art at the art crawl in Gravenhurst, please see the poster for more information. We'll also leave a link to the poster on our socials, so check us out on Instagram at simcocomm, C-O-M-M, media. And if you'd like to attend the art crawl, please go out and enjoy all that the Métis artists in our community have to offer. Merci for watching, and we'll see you down the river.